Hey everybody, it's the interview queen Alicia Atout here, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to my interview with MLW World Tag Team Champions and my locker mates, Ross and Marshall Von Erich. Hi guys.
Hey, beautiful.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you for the introduction.
It's about time. We were waiting for this.
I know. Yeah. I'm so excited. I feel like the timing is pretty perfect. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on, which we will get into. But first and foremost, I just want to ask, I feel like the most appropriate question, how are you two doing? How are things going in Hawaii over there?
We're doing good. It's they're talking about doing another lockdown because our island they just started bringing in tourists, and so it's starting to get there's traffic again and stuff. But it was really cool during the quarantine stuff.
It was like ghost town all over the island because like half of our population is tourists usually. Yeah. So it was kind of like all the beaches were open and everything. Yeah. So
it was like coming here like 20 years ago, almost like going back in time.
That's cool.
But it has been awesome. We just got back from the gym. We were sparring, punching each other in the face. So
all that good stuff.
I wouldn't expect anything other,
Yeah, doing what brothers do. Suki.
I feel like so many of us were kind of going stir crazy, not being able to do our thing when it comes to being in the wrestling world. So how amazing does it feel now that you could be back out there? I know you mentioned like a brief potential close down again, but of course we had the restart. So how did that feel?
Oh man, we're just taking it in stride. I mean, everybody's dealing with it the same way. We're just, trying to make the most of it. And, what else are you going to do? We're just, we're happy, anytime we get to go back to work, to wrestle, it's like, we're just enjoying every last bit of it. We're just trying to make the most of all the road stuff and everything that goes along with it. So
in the beginning of our careers, especially in Japan and stuff, it was, there was less crowd interaction because it was Japan. And so we were, extremely stressed out. We honestly weren't very good for a while. And, the Japanese beat that into us and taught us a lot, but it was at one point we came back to Japan and we wasted our first 2 tours with being in dread, worrying and stressed out. And I was like, man, let's just try to actually enjoy this time and make the moment of it with my brother, and we get to, we used to play wrestle when we were kids. And now we get to do it as adults. And get to, see the world.
Yeah, we're really living our dream, and we really are just like, isn't it crazy we're doing this and that? We got to remind each other, like, we got to stay like hyped and pumped about it because it really is an amazing.
So some people don't want to get let down by having high hopes, and we don't feel like we're wasting any time staying hopeful. It's okay. I was spending that time being hopeful, happy, and not stressed out. Instead I could have been stressed and dreading or whatever, but it's been working. We're happy.
I'm really glad that you brought those points up because I feel like whenever we're in the locker room, like, of course you walk into work some days and you're just not having a great day. Like, it happens to the best of us, but you two are always backstage. Like, anytime I'm passing by or like one of us are zooming around, you to a match, me to a promo, like one of you are always, hey, everything good? You guys okay? So you can really tell, like, you do try to have that positive energy, and it definitely reflects off of everyone kind of bouncing around back.
Man,
we all notice it.
Thank you. Yeah, likewise, you too. You're just like sunshine wherever you go. You're like a ray of light. But we need that in our locker room. We try to just, that's what we try to do. We just want to lift the mood wherever we're at. And
it doesn't always need to be a tense situation, even though you're in a pretty tense situation. But that's one thing is like doing promos with you always brings, light to the situation. We're people doing something we love, and it keeps it fun. I like to stay lighthearted. I'm not a good stressed out person.
Same. That's when things can get messy. That's why I try to always be like positive, because as soon as you get down.
No, you do a good job.
Yeah, thank you. Well, before the restart, we were updating fans through MLW's Pulp Fusion, and many wrestlers kind of were test driving new moves by always being in the ring, but you guys were doing tricks and flips off waterfalls. So have you kind of made the island your wrestling playground over the past few years of just being there?
Definitely, because we don't have a wrestling ring over here. So usually we look like 2 psychos getting in an exaggerated fight on the beach, but that's how we train. That's how we train with each other. But it's crazy what a small town vibe it is here, because everyone here supports us. They all have our backs. We basically grew up here, and so it's crazy having that support system. But now there's kids that want to get in on the promos now. Everyone on this island is huge MLW fans. It really is so cool to come home and people with signs and stuff. It never gets old. It really doesn't. Yeah. But it is definitely our big playground. We basically this is what we do normally, to jump off cliffs and do all this stuff. And so we figured we should add it in our promos, you know, like
add it to our wrestling. You know, they're doing all the flips and stuff. It's just like, you know, how much of this can we incorporate into our profession?
Yeah,
you know, pretty much.
Every week when we would pump out those episodes, I was just thinking, like, where are the Von Erichs going to be now? It's going to be like a gorgeous waterfall, beach, some surfing. Like, it was just so cool to see every time.
Yeah, man, that means it's working. Thank you.
Yeah, good to hear. That's good feedback. Thank you.
No, of course. And it was interesting because we were both all of us were on our way to the restart. And I remember you mentioning just how gorgeous it is over there, but how you just wished you could have some snow once in a while. And I was like, well, I bet you by the time I'm back home, like give it a month or so, we're going to have a crazy snowfall. And I promised you guys I would show you a picture. So this was literally us.
No way.
That was yesterday. Isn't that insane?
Oh my goodness. You're so lucky.
I feel like the real question is you wanna switch for a week because we got a lot of snow here.
Yeah, you need to get into weather because I mean that was a good prediction. That's pretty crazy. Or Canada's predictable. I don't know. The weather's pretty. I know here in Hawaii, the only thing that's unpredictable is the rain. And so like in the wintertime, instead of snow, we just get a lot of rain. Yeah. But yeah, it is. I like that Christmassy vibe where it's cold outside and you know it feels like Christmas. It's hard to see everybody in their swim shorts. There's lights on the house, but it's 90 degrees outside. Right. It's cool though. I mean, it's hard to complain because it's beautiful here. Yeah.
Well, maybe we have to have like our own little holiday celebration during the next set of tapings, pending where we end up. Because you never know. You never know with MLW, but like somewhere cold. If we are somewhere cold, we'll have to do a little something.
And I know it's 2 months late, but I'm celebrating Christmas. It's true.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Of course, when it comes to you two, your family comes from such an incredible lineage of amazing wrestlers, and your father being Kevin Von Erich. I was just curious, did he immediately get on board when you mentioned, hey, we want to follow in your footsteps, or was he a little hesitant for you two to come into this industry, especially knowing how crazy and difficult it can be?
Yeah, I think, you know, you look at what he went through and all his life and stuff, you know, it's pretty rational to be a little hesitant, you know, to throw your kids into that kind of, you know, environment, you know, having gone through everything he did. But I think so we went to the Harley race camp in Eldon, Missouri. And once he saw that we kind of wanted to go this route, because he was been a supportive dad our whole life, you know, whatever, you know, football, basketball, you know, track, whatever. He was just at every practice, at every meet and stuff. And so once he knew that we wanted to go this route, he was just, you know, he was like, okay. And he just supported us wholeheartedly, and he just like showed us, you know, the right path, and like you know, giving us advice all along. And plus, we've been, like you said, we've been wrestling each other our whole life. You know, in the back of our mind, especially when we were young kids, we're like, oh, one day we're going to be tag team champions and this and that. And you know, and then you get a little older, and it's like, yeah, you know, maybe I want to do this or that, and then, but it never left, you know. And so we always had that. And my dad is just like, I don't know. It just seems like destiny, because it's like we've always wanted to do that. And my dad, deep down, I feel like now that we are committed, he's just committed with us, and he's
our biggest fan.
He's our biggest.
Oh, you can tell, like you can see it in his eyes how proud he is. Like anytime that he kind of shows up on MLW or even his tweets, like you can just outright tell he's so proud of you guys. And it's really sweet to see the fact that you're following in his footsteps, and obviously, most importantly, and the coolest thing is you're obviously doing him proud.
It really is awesome. This has been such a fun experience for him, especially, and us. But it made us like, because we all live on the same property. We live in different houses, but it's like a compound, a little Von Erich compound, and it's crazy. Once we started wrestling and coming home with road stories, we were going to the same towns my dad was in Japan and Israel and the UK. We were going to these same places that feel like in the middle of nowhere. And it's just crazy. You get that home feeling, even though you feel so far away. Like my dad, my uncles, my grandfather have been here before. And, you know, it made us closer when we're sharing stories and stuff. He even said he almost feels like he has his brother's back because, you know, we're here. We have attributes that remind him, you know, he says my brother is like, has like kind of like my Uncle Dave's attitude, but looks a little bit like my Uncle Kerry. And I act like my Uncle Kerry. And it's, you know, we're just being ourselves. But it's cool to we almost feel like we're getting to know our uncles through his stories and other wrestlers' stories that know him. Yeah.
That's like, that warms my heart. Like, that's really incredible to hear.
Ah,
Like,
sweet.
that's so sweet.
Touchdown.
Yeah, right? Nailed it. One thing that I love you've said in the past is how the Von Erich name is not a burden, and how you've been given the right equipment and you just got to go out there and do your best. So, you know, wrestling as kids, and since it's been in your lives for so long, do you remember that first match that you ever attended, or were you so young it's kind of just a big blur back then?
Well, we remember, so we did watch a ton of my dad's world class stuff, you know, the old tapes. And then we started, because my dad didn't like that Attitude Era. Not really my dad. My mom didn't like the Attitude Era. Was you know,
like
dirty
most
for
moms.
8-year-old. Yeah. And so we would, you know, go to our friend's house and watch it, or hide and watch it in our room. So we got really into it in the Attitude Era. And then we didn't realize the name value my dad had in Texas. We knew everybody knew him, but we just thought, you know, he was just outgoing. But then there was a WWE show in Dallas, and my dad he asked us if we wanted to go, and we're like, "Are you serious?" And we thought we were gonna have to buy tickets. But my dad walked in the back door and saw Undertaker walk up, and I was like, I remember the week before,
like, Dad, watch out, Undertaker!
He killed Boss Man. He hung a guy last week, you know.
Oh my god!
I was just so into it,
invested. Yeah.
But to see him walk up to my dad and like show so much respect was like unreal. This made me look at my dad differently. Like, man, this is a guy that I love and respect and look up to. And to see these guys that I look up to also respect him, I was like, I'm gonna start listening to this guy. Maybe he has something to say.
Right.
You know.
Well,
I mean, I remember watching my dad's, like, because when I was really young, I'm older, so I would go to the matches when I was really young with my dad before he retired, and so I would just remember, go Kevin, go, and then just telling people, oh, that's my dad. You know, we'd always, you know, I'd be in the crowd, you know, playing with all the other little kids running around. And they'd be, oh, that's not your dad, and you know, that kind of thing. And when I was really young, I would always want to tape my wrist and just follow him around backstage, you know, and just watch everything. And you know, so it was cool. You know, we really have nothing to like compare this to, because some people ask, like, you know, what is it like, you know,
or the pressure, you know,
the pressure and all that.
It's
kind
just
of stuff.
it's all you've known.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, I'm not gonna lie and say there was no pressure in the beginning, because you know, they did, you know, great things in Texas, but it was, these were the cards we were dealt, you know, and we can either, you know, dread it, or obviously this door opened. We didn't open this door. We feel like personally, you know, this door was open by God, and we have nothing to do with it. And so we are literally just, you know, this is the door that he opened. And so we can try our best. We're trying our best, and then he'll pick when it closes. And so we really are just trying to make the most of it, live in the moment. We're best friends since we were kids. We get to do this together, you know, and it's just making, you know, more and more like stories and stuff. And it's crazy. Now we know each other like too well. Like we finish each other's sentences and stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, didn't see that one coming.
That was good.
Nice.
It's always fun. It's always fun seeing people who are in tag teams. They always mention the camaraderie, the brotherhood. And of course you have that literally. And you were just saying how you almost know each other too well. So being in those close corners, traveling all the time, living on that same Von Erich compound over there, what would you say is the biggest pet peeve you've discovered about your sibling?
Oh, easy. He loses everything.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I lose everything. My wallet is currently lost at the moment right now.
And he just found it like 3 days ago and lost it.
It's pathetic. Yeah.
So when we travel, I'll bring the fanny pack. I'll put his passport in my bag. I'll put his passport in the wallet usually. But
I'm also really messy too. I think. Yeah. Or he tells me I am, but
when it's like just us, like when I'm at home, I try to be neat, but I'll get stressed out if I try to clean up after him. So I just embrace the mess, and I'll just be messy too when we're on the road. But yeah, that's my pet peeve. I think his pet peeve about me is like too good of a person. I love too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Too good of a listener.
He's too good of a brother. That's my only complaint. No, yeah, he's I don't like it. He loves like fast food and stuff, and I like to eat semi-healthy, and he's always like, "Oh, let's go to, you know, Arby's or whatever." You know, it's like I want to get some healthy food, you know, or like.
But if I didn't have him, I'd be a mess. He's also my personal trainer. I just eat what he eats, and we
made each other halfway.
Yeah,
you know? I try not to. Yeah, I try not to go too crazy on the healthy stuff, but
Yeah.
You deal with his mess, and he helps you not be a messy person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Messy human
we
being.
help each other out for sure.
Right. Well, the last thing that I did want to ask about is, of course, you both compete against other teams out there, but being athletes, you definitely have that ridiculous competitive streak. So have you two been really competitive against one another your whole lives, or has it always kind of been, yeah, we're on the same team through everything?
You know, since we're 3 or 4 years apart, we during football and stuff, we always just like, he's the only person I'd want to do better than me, and it's the same way. It's like, that's your brother. And one time we got to play football together. It was our island was having an alumni game, and it's where all the graduates come and play a football game, and that was the first time we got to play on the field together, and that was the funnest time in my entire life. We were we were just like double teaming people. We weren't listening to the coaches. We were getting in trouble the whole time because we were just doing things that it'd be cool if we high load this guy. It was just so fun. And we earned a nickname called the Bash Bros. It was really, really cool.
Bash Bros. Bring that back.
Yeah, maybe it's a future tag team name. I don't know. But we constantly I hate to see him down. He hates to see me down. So we always just try to leave each other, keep each other up, encourage each other, because it does run in our family. That people, we overthink situations from the past. My uncles, they were hard on themselves. They overthink, or they would overthink, and it was, they believed it. Also, drugs and it didn't help, and so we hold each other accountable. We constantly, how are you doing? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, me being a little older than him, I always just wanted him to come on. I always had that encourage him, try to make him big and strong, and then he got bigger and stronger than me. And, I still just see him as a little kid, I think when you grow up once, next to each other, I still see him as that 8-year-old with chocolate all over his mouth and grasping a toy car in his hand. It's just, so I never had that competitive, oh, you're not going to be better than me kind of thing. I don't know.
We just want each other to succeed.
Yeah. When he does something awesome, oh, that was so sick,
Yeah.
And I think we're always just trying to pump each other up in that kind of way.
We're constantly trying to think of cool moves for the other one to do. That's every one of my big moves has been thought up and named by him.
Yeah.
And so it's we're constantly trying to put each other over.
Yeah.
You two
that's our saying, actually. Yeah. Put each other over.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go to the locker room and put people over.
Yeah. Well, I really do want to say thank you so much for taking the time, hopping on here. I'm so glad we're finally able to do this. I absolutely love working with you two. I'm really happy. So thank you so much for hanging today.
Man, likewise. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're awesome. Very professional. Thank you so much for having us.
We were super pumped when you signed at the MLW. I think it was either before or right after, but we're super happy you're on that team. You're the kind of people that we need in the locker room. It's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Same to you guys. To everyone watching, this has been the incredible Von Erichs. I'm the interview queen, Alicia, too. Of course, be sure to watch all of us on MLW Fusion every Wednesday night and check out aliciatoo.com for more exclusive interviews and features. Bye, everyone.